I'm very motivated towards a particular topic that I have been pursuing for a few years. FIRE, but not your usual FIRE. FIRE stands for Financial Independence and Retire Early. I first heard about this concept when I was in my first year of work, but I was still confused back then even though I have been practicing good financial habits. Like, why would someone retire in the early 30s or 40s and just rot all the way at home until they die? Doesn't it feel like not contributing to the family and not having any economic value at all? So today, we are going to discuss my FIRE plan and what are my thoughts about FIRE. What's up guys, this is Christopher from Honey Money SG, and in this channel we are all about building financial knowledge, teach money saving hacks, and also leading a fulfilling quality of life. So if you are new here and these topics interest you, consider subscribing. Before we start the video, let me put the disclaimer over here. This video is just based on my personal opinion and for education and entertainment purposes only. It is not meant to be taken as the holy grail standard of FIRE because everyone's circumstances differ in their different stages of life, and also different people have different expectations towards how they spend and how they save. So you may or may not agree with these concepts that we'll be talking about later. With that, let's move on to talking about the 4 types of FIRE. There are different types of FIRE discussed, so I'm going to cover from the smallest to the biggest FIRE. The first concept being lean FIRE. A lean FIRE basically covers your minimal expenses such that you can live subsistently, but you cannot take on any luxury spending in your life. So you are expected to lead a frugalistic and minimalistic lifestyle, so that would range around an income of around $20,000 a year. And then moving on to the next level is Barista FIRE. So Barista FIRE, as the name suggests, basically means that you are able to work in a job that you love to top up your minimal substantive income. So for example, you're getting $1,000 per month in your passive income, and basically that's not enough for your retirement. But instead of a normal corporate 9 to 5 job that you hate, you want to work as a barista, which maybe pays you $2,000 a month. All in total, you have about $3,000 working in a job you love. So for people who are pursuing Barista FIRE, their annual expenses will total up at around 20k to 40k range a year. Next, we have the standard FIRE, which means that your passive income can actually cover a comfortable living lifestyle and also afford occasional indulgences and luxury items. So we are targeting an annual expense of around $40,000 to $100,000 a year. And then in the final stage, we have the fat FIRE, which basically means a very strong and burning fire. So at this level, you have financial abundance. You do not need to worry about your expenses at all because you know that your cash flow will never run out and you can spend excessively, and that will mean your passive income is probably above $100,000 a year to cover your expenses. Hold up, if you think that you are getting value from this video so far, could you help me push the like button at the bottom of this video below? Thank you. Okay, so I have covered the 4 different types of FIRE. In the next section, I'm going to break down what you can do in each of your life on a step-by-step basis so that you can pursue FIRE systematically. Now firstly, F, for find out what you want. I think the biggest problem of most people is that they don't know what they want. You see, pursuing wealth is a never-ending process. People get greedy when they accumulate more wealth. When they reach a certain level of income or status, they want to pursue more luxurious items that can feed their materialism. So I think the first step of FIRE is always to find out what you want in terms of things that create happiness and contentment. Now, happiness is subjective because everybody have different amounts that needs to keep them happy. When you have $1 million, you may think that you are happy, but actually when you reach $1 million, the next target you have is $10 million and so forth to $100 million. So greed may actually take over your consensus someday. I think the better approach to find out what you want is actually contentment. Contentment is about how much money you need so that you do not go into starving and living in poverty that compromises your quality of life. Stripping off any luxury spends and indulgence items. So once you find out how much you actually need to be contented, you can then find out what is the level of FIRE that you need to support your lifestyle. Do you want to do absolutely nothing in your retirement life and just stay at home all day? Then you probably just need a lean FIRE target. If you want to have slightly more money and you want to work in a job that you love, then you may consider switching to Barista FIRE. Maybe your hobby is about drinking and understanding coffees, so you can apply for a job as a barista to actually understand the operations behind a coffee chain and also know about the different types of coffee that are served in the market. If you want to have a goal to travel the world in your retirement life and explore places that you have never been before, then you probably can pursue the standard level of FIRE. And lastly, if you want to spend your money lavishly like the Kardashians, then you may want to pursue the Fat FIRE goal. So summing up, different lifestyles actually appeal to different people based on what they spend on, so you really need to know where is your level of spending before you really go and pursue the type of FIRE that you want. Moving on to the next level is I for invest adequately. There are many types of investment, but I will just cover the more obvious ones first. You have always heard about people talking about investing in the stock market or the real estate market. Basically, it means that people allocate resources into such assets, believing that this price will appreciate over the long term and maybe provide some consistent returns along the way. So that's the general idea of investment. For stocks, there will be dividend income and capital gains, and for real estate, there will be rental income if you rent it out. There is also a 4% safe withdrawal rate that everyone is talking about, but I will cover that maybe in my future videos. But basically, the 4% safe withdrawal rate ensures that you have a consistent cash flow that can help you in securing your monthly passive income. Here's the thing, no one actually became a millionaire in their early 30s by just working a corporate 9-to-5 job and saving their money in the bank account. At some point in time, you actually need to do some investments so that your money can work better for you. Okay, so that's the obvious investment. Now let's talk about the not so obvious investment. Invest in your health. I cannot stress this enough. When you're young, you feel fit and you can eat anything you want, but is that really the case? You have heard of news where people die in their early 30s due to cancer or any other kind of illnesses that may be only prone to seniors. So the concept of health is wealth. 健康就是财富. You know, having a balanced diet, regular exercising, and sufficient sleep is more important than you think. If you have all the money in the world, but you don't have the health to spend it, then what is the point of living and accumulating so much wealth? The last thing you want to invest is your network. As they always say in LinkedIn, your network is your net worth. Building connections with like-minded people or mentors can actually help motivate you in your journey to pursuing financial independence. You also want to cut off negativity from your toxic friends or relationships that can actually hinder your progress, drains your energy, and even affect your mental health. So these are just a few types of investment that I feel are important in part of your wealth building journey. Next, we move on to R, which is reviewing your progress. Now this is like a performance review in your corporate 9-to-5 job, where you review your performance with your employer. So you want to track your net worth regularly and document your journey. You can start small by setting a net worth target for a month or a quarter, and then see if you hit it. Once you have a basic concept of where your net worth will be like, you can then project your net worth target in 1 year and the next 5 years. So you want to forecast where you want to be in 5 years and then work towards that target. Make it like a game where you complete your missions and your quests, and reward yourself when you have achieved a significant milestone. This will help gamify the process and help you enjoy what you're doing. Most importantly, you want to reflect on what are your hits and misses for the year. If you have done something that is great, you want to replicate and capitalize the same skill that you have learned. If you found that you have did something poorly, then you want to avoid or reduce tendencies to commit it again. For example, if you have stick to your conviction stocks during the February flash crash and bought it more during the dip, you will have profited quite a good sum amount of money over that month. So that is something good that you want to replicate it in the next market correction. And then lastly, E for early start. Flexing my Chinese here again. 千里之行，始于足下, which means a journey of 1,000 miles begins from a single step. Nobody ever started out being rich unless they have wealthy parents. And it is never too late to start. The only failure is not starting. If you have heard of the time value of money, which means that if you put around $1,000 in the S&P 500 index, which returns around 7% a year, 10 years later it is going to be worth close to $2,000, and 20 years later it will be even close to $4,000 based on the 7% compounded growth. So the earlier you start, the earlier the money could compound for you. Many gurus have talked about the time value of money. but I want to introduce another concept, which is the money value of time. The money value of time concept is just a very simple math equation. Let's say if you are doing a gig job earning around $30 per hour, so if you want to save $10, it's only worth 20 minutes of your time. If you have spent anything more than 20 minutes trying to look for a promo code, haggling over a discount, or jumping behind a long queue that helps you save less than $10 in 20 minutes, then it isn't worth it at all, because your 20 minutes could have been used to earn that $10 back. And then taking it from another perspective, if you could spend $10 just to save 20 minutes of your time, it definitely is worth it. For example, cooking your lunch versus takeout. If cooking your lunch takes you 20 minutes to prepare, ignoring the cost of ingredients, and your takeout lunch is only $8, then it's probably better to just order takeout. Okay, so I have talked about the FIRE of the FIRE process, and now I will share what about my FIRE plan. So for my F, which is finding out what I want, I would actually need $2,000 a month. This is actually 2 times of my subsistence living expense of $1,000 monthly, which means it is enough to survive and occasionally a big spending. So that would total up to around $24,000 of annual expense a year. And if that is not enough, I'll probably pursue a Barista FIRE approach and work on something that I love. For investing adequately, I actually do invest in the stock market, and I hope to invest in real estate in the near future. For health, I've been practicing good health habits of eating a balanced diet, sleeping adequately, and also exercise regularly. In terms of network, I'm working on this, so I'm building my network across the LinkedIn and the YouTube community, just like this video right here, so that I reach out to more like-minded people. For R, review your progress. I'm tracking my net worth monthly, and I already have a 10-year projection plan on where my net worth is supposed to be. I'll probably do a net worth update video in future to document my journey and also be held accountable for my own targets and meeting them. For E, early start. On hindsight, I'm glad that I've started early at the age of 24 when I had my first job. So I hope more young people can also start early, and no doubt we will make mistakes along the way, but we just have to learn from it and improve ourselves. Okay, some closing thoughts. The FIRE movement is definitely not for everyone. We are a weird bunch of people who embraces delayed gratification, minimalistic lifestyle, and unemployment. We are so weird that such concepts aren't even taught in formal education textbooks. And also, you must understand that your circumstances may change in the future. For example, if you're planning on having kids, or you have to pay for medical emergencies. So you have to be highly adaptable even after you have FIRE. Last but not least, you must enjoy your process of pursuing FIRE, and even after you have achieved FIRE. If you dread the process, then this may not be suitable for you. Alright, so I hope this video has been a great value to all of you. And if you think you have learned something new, do like and share to your friends and family about this video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so that I can cover more topics like this. Check out my other videos here if you haven't, so you can learn more about wealth building. My name is Christopher, this is Honey Money SG, steering young adults to financial independence.